With the massage techniques, we're first going to work on the front of the arm, so specifically biceps and brachialis. So with biceps and brachialis, I want to show the difference between the two muscles so you get an idea of where you are going to do the techniques. So brachialis is deep to biceps. So right now I'm pinching biceps right here. So I feel the delineation of biceps, the back part, and over here is triceps. So in between, that is brachialis right there. So here's the deltoid tuberosity, the bottom portion of the deltoid muscle, and this is generally where brachialis would begin on the front part of the arm. And again, you could feel between the biceps and the triceps is brachialis. Now, in terms of techniques, the first technique you could do is even using your hand by compressing. So you place your palm on the inside, your fingers on the outside, and squeeze biceps and brachialis together. And you can do compressions directly onto the arm bone, going all the way up to the shoulder. And as you grasp both biceps and brachialis, you could pronate and supinate. So those are the motions of the forearm, or medial and lateral rotation of the arm. And you can move side to side as you are rotating. Now we're going to get to use some tools here. So a small dumbbell, you could roll the dumbbell on biceps, and because brachialis is deep, you could also work on that muscle. You could go on the inside of the muscle as well as on the outside. You can also use a rolling pin. So this is a great introductory technique, warms up the muscle nicely. The next one you could use is a ball, either a lacrosse ball or a tennis ball. And using your hand, you could knead, so basically rolling. Right to the top. Going through the chest muscles to get to the short head of biceps. You're also going to go through deltoid to get to the tendons of biceps. And you're rolling on the inside of both muscles. Now, another good thing, especially with the tennis ball, because of the felt, it has a little bit of traction on it that you could use. So you could place the ball after you've bent the elbow, compress, and then hold that stationary as you elongate the elbow. So basically it gives a feel of deep work on the muscle as you elongate it underneath the tennis ball. You can see it has turned red as well. The next one is using the spoon. So you can use the spoon to do some kneading, a little bit more specific than the tennis ball. And on the inside, I'll show it here, all the way down to its attachment. could use the broad end of a wooden spoon to get even a little bit more specific. And right here on the inside of the arm, you could see here's biceps, and just underneath biceps, that's brachialis right there. So you go right in between those two muscle bellies as you move further down. And you could do this on top as well as on the outside. To get even more specific, here's a massage tool that you could use, or therapy tool. Go right in between the two heads. You can help spread them apart by wiggling in between the fibers, as well as the two bellies coming across this way right there. Go right in between. And then reposition and do other parts of the muscle. Now, of course, if you don't have that tool, that's where the end part of the spoon or end part of a butter knife can be used. Now, there's going to be two spots I want to work on a little bit more. That is on the upper part where deltoid, the chest muscles, and biceps come into, right in that area. That gets a bit sticky. So in the rotator cuff, we talked about using our palm to push the deltoid muscle away as you rotate your arm downward or inward. And that'll help start to free up that area. You can also use a tennis ball or a ball to do the same action if you don't want to use your palm. The other one you can use is the bottom portion. So with this muscle, as it tapers in, it becomes tendinous, and that tendon will go into the bone that is on the top part when the forearm is in neutral position. So right there, that's the tendon, and then there's a slip of connective tissue that goes onto the forearm muscles. Brachialis is just deep to that, so here again, the biceps is tapering. So on either end of biceps, especially when it gets into the tendon, that will be brachialis. So you could work both muscles with your fingers. So I have my two fingers on the outside of the tendon. And now I'm treating brachialis. And my thumb on the inside of the tendon, I can again treat brachialis as well as biceps. And I could do it together as well. So I'm going with the fiber, and I could bend the biceps tendon, even bend your elbow a little bit, and work behind the biceps tendon to get onto brachialis and behind the tendon itself. And you could play around with rotation of your arm, pronation, supination of your forearm to add different muscle fibers. Now, if you're not strong enough with your fingers, you could use, again, the butt end of the knife to get into those same areas. If you happen to have a boomerang at your house, you could use that to work on any adhesions or stickiness. Rotate your arm to capture the outside. Then rotate your arm to capture the inside. And one last thing you could do is with a shoe horn. Again, it's another good scraping tool to use. So right now I'm trying to go between biceps and brachialis. And again, here's the tendon of biceps and part of brachialis, and then on the outside. And those are the techniques for brachialis and biceps.